started bowling when she was 7 and has been involved in bowling ever since. And she has a high series of 702, a high game of 268, and was forced to give up the sport in the 1980s due to a wrist injury. And I could go on with some of her other accomplishments with bowling ball. And I don't want to slight those, but the more important thing to me is the biggest accomplishment that I believe she has, and that is her work with youth bowling. You know, our school board here has a slogan, it's about kids. Well, when it comes to Nancy, that's what it's about. It's about kids. And she is dedicated 30 plus years in Lexington, plus years before in Buffalo, to see that kids had every opportunity to bowl, every opportunity to learn about bowling, and to be successful at bowling. I can go through the list of top bowlers today that bowl in the Lexington area that can thank Nancy and Bill and the team she put together at Southland for being the top bowlers that they are. Mike Fairchild comes to mind as one. Melinda Craig is another one. And then the bowlers that have gone on to succeed in so many other ways. And I think a lot of that is due to the time and the effort that Nancy has devoted to youth bowling. To those of you who have kept up with it, probably the greatest thing that's happened to bowling in Lexington in the last 60 years has been the high school bowling program. Well, Nancy was the force behind the high school bowling program. She made it happen because Nancy doesn't take no very well for an answer. And she forced it to happen, and it's been a wonderful thing. She continues to coach the Lafayette girls team, and she worked tirelessly, along with Bill, to come up with scholarship money to help kids and to participate in bowling. And no kid was ever turned away just because he didn't have a couple of bucks to pay the bowling fee. They helped every kid. And I could go on all day, but I'd rather you listen to Nancy. So if you'd give me that plaque, Bob. So it's with great honor that I introduce to you one of our newest members of the Greater Lexington Bowling Hall of Fame, Miss Nancy Hohensee.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, to start out with, last weekend I went to a Hall of Fame banquet for my husband for the state. He got 4 words out before he teared up. I'm not going to do that, I hope. I am going to try and keep it together. I'd like to thank all of you for coming today. I want to thank the Greater Lexington Bowling Association for this amazing honor, and all of those who voted for me. I want to thank Doug Bradley for nominating me. He has asked me to keep this short, and that's what I plan to do. I only have 12 pages here. Sorry about that, Doug, but you did say to keep it short. Thirdly, I want to thank my husband, Bill, my sons, Jeffrey, Kenneth, and Randy, for their support throughout these years. My family has always been behind me in everything I have ever tried to accomplish, especially in the youth bowling area. There have been late dinners, missed sports activities, and sometimes we lost some quality family time because I had to get things done for the next week's bowling. In addition, there was so much work that needed to be done to do the high school bowling program, and running those first few years took a lot of time. And every step of the way, my family was there for me, helping me when they could, or just staying out of my way when I needed them to stay out of my way. I can't tell you how many times I told the boys when they were growing up, just give me a few more minutes. As soon as I get this done, I'll get dinner started. They never complained. Not once in 30 years did they ever tell me, Mom, why don't you just stop and let somebody else take it over? They all knew and understood the passion that Bill and I have for youth bowling and kids today. and we continue to have that passion. I want to say a special thanks to all the bowlers I have coached throughout the years. They have enriched my life immensely. Every smile, every hug, every goal accomplished meant so much to me. Many people have told me over the years that I have touched the lives of so many thousands of children. The truth is, they've touched my life in more ways than I can tell you. There is nothing more rewarding to me than having a little 7-year-old come up to me and after bowling 7 or 8 weeks in the program, running 10 lanes down, hugging me and say, "I did it, I got a strike, I did it." I was telling a story at the table just a second ago. There was a little boy whose parents bowled, very serious about his bowling. He was 7 years old. He threw that ball down the lanes and he knocked down every pin but the back row. The ball stopped right in the middle. And there it was, the 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm going, okay, that's a new one on me. But the rake came up and the ball came back and he picked up his ball and he looked at me and said, "Where do I stand for this one?" And I didn't have an answer. I'd never had to shoot that. Those are the kind of moments that you remember. Those are the kind of moments that make it all worthwhile. I also want to say a special thanks to all the coaches who helped Bill and I to run the program. There are too many to mention. The Shields, Frank Fitch, George Kraft, the Tinchers, Bob Paddock, they just go on and on. Even though they left our program for one reason or another, I've appreciated all their help in helping us to keep Southland's program running smoothly. Finally, I want to thank my husband again. I love you more than I can say. And without you, none of this would have been possible. I love you, Bill. Thank you.